let's talk about a character who, in my opinion, doesn't just get overlooked in the Dragon Ball franchise. He gets completely misunderstood. A character who's been praised, dragged, memed, criticized, celebrated, and even written off as wasted potential. And yet, despite all of that, he remains one of my absolute favorites. I'm talking about Gohan, son of Goku. The half-Saiyan kid who cried when Piccolo threw him into survival training, who headbutted Raditz, who grew up, who saved the world from Cell, who wore a green tracksuit at one point, and eventually unlocked Beast Mode in Dragon Ball Superhero. And today, I'm going to make my case for why Gohan isn't just misunderstood. He's maybe the most human, relatable, and realistic character Akira Toriyama ever created. So buckle up. This isn't just another Why Gohan is Great rant. This is a deep dive into why I love him, why he frustrates people, why fans can't stop arguing about him, and why he might just be one of the smartest pieces of storytelling Dragon Ball ever gave us. To really understand why Gohan is so misunderstood, we have to rewind. Gohan's first appearance? He's a shy, kind little kid with a tail. Not a warrior, not some mini Goku clone, just a sweet boy. But the moment Raditz shows up, Gohan's hidden power explodes. That's Gohan's DNA. He's not a fighter by nature, but when pushed, he's capable of greatness. And here's the key. Unlike Goku or Vegeta, fighting isn't Gohan's dream, it's his burden. Piccolo realizes this first. When he trains Gohan, it's not because Gohan begged to become stronger. It's because Gohan had to. Survival, protection, duty. That theme follows him his entire life. Goku wants to fight. Vegeta needs to fight. Gohan, he'd rather study, learn, and live in peace. This makes him the outlier in a series built on martial arts obsession. And that's why fans misunderstand him. He's not a bad fighter. He's not lazy. He's just not Goku. Of course, you can't talk about Gohan without talking about the Cell Saga. This is where people say, yeah, Gohan peaked here, Toriyama dropped the ball after. And I get it. Teen Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 is iconic. That scream, the lightning, the one-handed Kamehameha with Goku's ghost guiding him. It's one of the most goosebump-inducing moments in anime history. But here's the irony. The Cell Saga isn't Gohan's peak. It's his trap. Fans saw that fight and thought, okay, Gohan's the new Goku. He's the franchise now. But that was never Toriyama's intent. He wrote Gohan as reluctant from day one. Goku literally dies saying Gohan should take over, but Gohan never wanted that role. And when Cell was defeated, Gohan didn't walk away craving more battles. He walked away wanting peace, wanting normalcy. So while fans crowned him the future, Gohan himself quietly said, no thanks. And that disconnect between fan expectation and character reality is what fuels decades of misunderstanding. Let's address the main criticism. Gohan has wasted potential. And you know what? On the surface, yeah, I see it. After the Cell games, Gohan becomes the great Saiyaman, then a college student, then a dad who sometimes forgets how to throw hands. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta are out there training with gods. It feels like he fell off. But here's the thing. Calling that a wasted potential is kind of missing the point. Gohan didn't waste anything. He chose differently. He chose school, family, science, and teaching. In other words, Gohan is the first Dragon Ball character to say, hey, what if I don't dedicate my entire life to punching? Is that disappointing to some fans who wanted him to be the next Goku? Sure. But it's also deeply human. Because not everyone who's good at something wants to build their entire identity around it. Gohan had the strength to surpass his father, but he had the heart to admit he didn't want that life. That's not wasted potential. That's character development. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room and some real-world creative decisions behind this wasted potential. While Gohan was originally meant to take over as Dragon Ball's protagonist, something the early parts of the Buu saga did commit to, at some point, Akira Toriyama decided that Gohan wasn't fit to be the protagonist, thus forcing Goku to be the hero again in the climax of the arc. Gohan's lack of relevance over the years stems from Akira Toriyama deciding he didn't work as a protagonist. Early episodes of Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima are the latest examples of that. Let's be real for a second. Gohan might be the most relatable Dragon Ball character for a lot of us. Think about it. How many of us had parents, teachers, or coaches push us to do something because we were gifted, even when we didn't really care about it? How many of us have had the weight of expectation dumped on our shoulders? How many of us feel guilty for not living up to some ideal we never asked for in the first place? That's Gohan. The world expects him to fight, to be Goku 2.0, to save the day every time. And sometimes he rises to it. Cell, Buu, the Tournament of Power, the superhero movie. But other times, he stumbles. Not because he's weak, but because his priorities are different. That duality, immense power, but reluctance to use it, is what makes him so fascinating. He's not the strongest Saiyan. He's not the most determined, but he's the most realistic. Fast forward to Dragon Ball Super, Superhero. Gohan fans everywhere rejoiced. Finally, he gets his spotlight back. And not just any spotlight. Beast Gohan. This terrifying, almost primal transformation that puts him right back in the conversation as one of the strongest characters in the franchise. Some fans called it redemption, like Gohan was finally paying off all that wasted potential. But here's how I see it. It wasn't redemption. It was confirmation. Confirmation that Gohan never lost his power. He just refused to live in it all the time. When his family was in danger, when Piccolo needed him, when the world truly demanded it, he tapped back into that bottomless well. That's the beauty of Gohan. He doesn't need to constantly train like Goku or Vegeta. He lives a normal life until the moment comes where extraordinary power is necessary. And when it does, he reminds everyone, he's still that guy. So why do I think Gohan is the most misunderstood Dragon Ball character? Simple. Fans judge him against Goku and Vegeta instead of judging him for who he is. One of my favorite episodes of Dragon Ball Super was episode 52, Master and Pupil Reunited, Gohan and Future Trunks. In this episode, Future Trunks' arrival in the present day leads to him seeking information about Gohan. He is surprised to learn that Gohan has become a scholar and has largely retired from fighting, and Trunks spends time with Gohan's family, including his wife, Videl, and daughter, Pan. The arc uses the meeting to showcase how the Gohan that Future Trunks knew was a powerful warrior, whereas the Gohan of the present timeline has a different life. This contrast is a central theme of the episode. For me, this episode not only shows Trunks, but also the fans who would see Gohan truly become a guy who doesn't fight for the love of it or because it is in his blood. He fights for peaceful life. We see Goku chasing the next challenge and Vegeta chasing pride. Then we see Gohan, who values peace, books, and his family. And instead of saying, "That's different but valid," people say, "Wow, what a letdown." But Gohan isn't a letdown. He's a mirror. He reflects the truth that not everyone wants to be defined by power, even if they have it. That being the strongest isn't the only path to fulfillment. And that sometimes the bravest thing isn't throwing punches, it's choosing to walk away from them. Gohan has been my favorite for years, not because he's the strongest or flashiest, but because he's complicated. He's not perfect, he frustrates us, and he challenges what we expect from a shonen hero. And in doing so, he feels real. So next time someone calls Gohan wasted potential, I'll just smile. Because to me, Gohan's story isn't about what he could have been. It's about who he chose to be. And that's why he'll always be one of my favorites, and why he's probably the most misunderstood character in all of Dragon Ball. Thanks for hanging out with me on this deep dive. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, share it with your fellow Dragon Ball fans, drop a comment about your favorite Gohan moment, and of course, hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. And as always, stay open-minded, stay neutral, and I'll catch you in the next one.